Deep in the heart of the jungle, a team of adventurers had been searching for an ancient treasure for months. They had faced many dangers, from poisonous snakes to treacherous terrain, but nothing had prepared them for what they were about to encounter. As they trudged through the thick underbrush, they suddenly heard a low growl. They froze, exchanging nervous glances. "What was that?" asked Sarah, her voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know," replied Jack, the team's leader. "But whatever it is, we need to be careful." They crept forward, weapons at the ready. Suddenly, the bushes ahead of them parted, and a massive creature emerged. It was unlike anything they had ever seen before. It stood over 10 feet tall, with scaly skin and razor-sharp claws. Its eyes glowed with a sinister light, and its jaws dripped with saliva. The adventurers backed away, their weapons trembling in their hands. "What is that thing?" whispered Tom, his eyes wide with fear. "I don't know," replied Jack. "But it's guarding something, and we need to find out what it is." They took a step forward, but the creature growled menacingly, baring its teeth. "Maybe we should just leave," suggested Sarah, her voice trembling. "No," said Jack firmly. "We've come too far to turn back now. We need to take this thing down." The creature charged, and the adventurers sprang into action. They fired their guns and swung their machetes, but the monster seemed almost invincible. Its skin was impenetrable, and its claws were like steel. They fought for what felt like hours, but the creature seemed to grow stronger with each passing moment. Finally, they were exhausted and on the brink of defeat. "We can't beat this thing," gasped Tom. "We need to run." But it was too late. The monster let out a deafening roar and charged forward, its jaws open wide. Suddenly, there was a blinding flash of light. The creature let out a piercing scream and collapsed to the ground. The adventurers looked around, confused. Had they defeated the monster? Then they saw her. A figure emerged from the shadows, holding a strange device that crackled with energy. "You fools," she hissed. "Did you really think you could defeat my creation? Now you will pay the price." The adventurers tried to run, but it was too late. The figure laughed as she unleashed a barrage of energy that disintegrated them on the spot. As the smoke cleared, she stepped forward and examined the charred remains of the adventurers. "Another group of fools," she muttered. "But at least they won't be interfering with my plans anymore." With a cold smile, she turned and disappeared back into the jungle, leaving behind only the monster and the ancient treasure that she had been guarding all along. As the smoke cleared, the monster slowly rose to its feet, its eyes fixed on the figure that had just defeated its enemies. It let out a low growl, as if daring her to try and harm it. But the figure merely laughed. "Don't worry, my dear," she said, patting the creature on the head. "You did your job perfectly. And now, the treasure is mine." She strode forward and began to examine the ancient artifacts that the adventurers had been seeking. There were golden jewels, priceless statues and ancient scrolls. It was a treasure beyond measure, and she knew that it would make her the most powerful person in the world. The monster watched her with a mixture of fear and loyalty. It had been created to guard the treasure, but it had never seen anyone as ruthless as this before. Suddenly, the figure turned and pointed a strange device at the monster. It let out a shriek of pain as a beam of energy struck it in the chest. "What are you doing?" shouted the monster, struggling to stay on its feet. "I'm sorry, my dear," replied the figure, her voice cold and heartless. "But you've outlived your usefulness. And now, it's time for you to go." With another blast of energy, the monster was reduced to nothing but ash. The figure smiled and turned back to the treasure. She knew that there were others who would come looking for it, but she was ready for them. She would stop at nothing to protect what was rightfully hers. And so, deep in the heart of the jungle, the ancient treasure remained hidden, guarded by a monster that was no more, and by a figure who would stop at nothing to keep it safe. Weeks later, another team of adventurers stumbled upon the same jungle, determined to find the treasure that had eluded so many before them. As they hacked their way through the underbrush, they suddenly heard a low growl. They froze, exchanging nervous glances. "It sounds like a monster," said one of the adventurers. "We should be careful," said another. "Who knows what kind of dangers lurk in this jungle?" But they pressed on, determined to find the treasure that lay hidden somewhere ahead. Finally, they reached the clearing where the treasure was said to be located. And there, standing guard, was the same monster that had defeated the previous team of adventurers. The creature growled menacingly, baring its teeth. "What is that thing?" asked one of the adventurers, his voice shaking. "I don't know," said the team's leader. "But we need to take it down if we want to get to the treasure." They fired their guns and swung their machetes, but the monster seemed almost invincible. Its skin was impenetrable, and its claws were like steel. But this team of adventurers was more experienced than the last. They had faced dangers before, and they were determined to overcome this one. They fought with all their might, and slowly but surely, the monster began to weaken. Its growls turned to whimpers, and its attacks became more feeble. Finally, they had the creature on the ropes. It was weakened, wounded, and close to defeat. The team's leader stepped forward, his weapon at the ready. "This is it," he said. "Finish it off." But then, something strange happened. The monster suddenly stopped attacking. It looked up at the team with a look of sadness and resignation. "Why?" it said, in a low, mournful voice. "Why do you keep coming? Why do you keep trying to take the treasure that doesn't belong to you?" The adventurers were taken aback. They had never heard a monster speak before, let alone express such sorrow. "What treasure?" asked the team's leader. "The treasure that lies within the ancient ruins," said the monster. "It doesn't belong to any of you. It belongs to the people who built it, the people who worship there, the people whose spirits still inhabit the jungle." The adventurers looked at each other, unsure of what to make of this. "But why guard it?" asked one of the adventurers. "Why not let us have it?" "Because you don't understand its power," said the monster. "You don't understand what it means to the people who created it. And if you take it, you will unleash forces that you cannot control." The adventurers looked at each other, unsure of what to do. "Let's go," said the team's leader, finally. "We've come too far to leave empty-handed, but maybe we should leave the treasure to those who truly deserve it." And with that, they turned and left the clearing, leaving the monster behind, and the ancient treasure still hidden within the ruins. As they walked away, the team couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. They had come so far, and risked so much, only to leave without the treasure they had sought. But as they walked deeper into the jungle, they began to realize that the monster had been right. There were forces at work here that they couldn't comprehend, and the treasure they had sought could bring destruction if it fell into the wrong hands. Days turned into weeks, and the team continued their journey, searching for new adventures and new challenges. But they couldn't shake the feeling that they had left something important behind in the jungle, something that they may never fully understand. And deep in the heart of the jungle, the monster continued to stand guard, watching over the ancient ruins and the treasure that lay within. It knew that there would be other adventurers who would come seeking the treasure, but it hoped that they would have the wisdom to listen to its warning. For the monster knew better than anyone the power and the danger that lay within the ancient ruins, and it knew that only those with the purest of hearts could ever hope to claim the treasure that lay hidden there. As the weeks turned into months, the team of adventurers continued their journey through the jungle, encountering new dangers and uncovering new treasures. But despite all their successes, they couldn't help but feel a sense of regret for leaving the treasure behind. They had come so close, and yet, they had been unable to claim the prize. One day, as they rested by a river, they heard a rustling in the bushes. They reached for their weapons, ready for whatever danger may come. But as the rustling grew louder, they saw the monster from the jungle emerge from the bushes. It looked different now, somehow smaller and weaker than before. "Please," it said, its voice barely a whisper. "I need your help." The team was taken aback. They had never seen the monster so vulnerable before. "What do you need?" asked the team's leader. "I'm dying," said the monster. "But before I go, I need to tell you something. Something about the treasure you sought in the jungle." The team listened, transfixed, as the monster revealed the secrets of the ancient ruins and the treasure that lay hidden within. "And now," said the monster, as its breathing grew shallower, "now, I need you to take me back to the jungle. I need to die where I belong." The team hesitated, unsure of what to do. But they could see the pain in the monster's eyes, and they knew that they couldn't leave it to die alone. And so, they carried the monster back to the jungle, back to the clearing where the ancient ruins lay hidden. As they approached the clearing, the monster's breathing grew more labored. But it seemed to gain strength as it drew closer to the ruins. Finally, they reached the clearing, and the monster collapsed onto the ground. "Thank you," it said, its voice barely audible. "Thank you for listening, and for understanding." And with that, the monster breathed its last, its body transforming into a mass of vines and leaves, becoming one with the jungle it had guarded for so long. The team stood in silence, awestruck by what they had witnessed. And as they turned to leave, they knew that they had finally found the treasure they had sought all along, the wisdom and understanding that comes from respecting the power of nature and the mysteries of the past. As the team left the clearing, they couldn't help but feel a sense of reverence for the monster and the ancient ruins it had guarded. They knew that they had been given a great gift, and that they had a responsibility to use that gift wisely. Days turned into weeks, and the team continued their journey through the jungle, but they no longer sought treasure for its own sake. Instead, they searched for knowledge and understanding, seeking to uncover the mysteries of the world around them. And as they traveled, they told the story of the monster and the treasure, spreading the message of respect and humility that they had learned. Years passed, and the team became legends in their own right, renowned for their wisdom and their understanding of the natural world. And though they never forgot the monster or the ancient ruins it had guarded, they knew that their greatest treasure was the knowledge they had gained from their journey. For in the end, it was not the gold or the jewels that they had sought, but the wisdom and understanding that comes from respecting the power of nature and the mysteries of the past. And as the team continued their journey, they encountered others who sought the treasure of the ancient ruins. But instead of fighting over the treasure, the team shared the knowledge they had gained, teaching others to respect the power of the jungle and the secrets it held. One day, as they rested by a river, they heard a group of adventurers approaching. But instead of weapons, the newcomers carried books and scrolls. "We've come to learn," said the leader of the group. "We've heard the stories of the monster and the treasure, and we want to know more." The team smiled, welcoming the newcomers and sharing the knowledge they had gained on their journey. And as the sun began to set, the newcomers thanked the team and prepared to leave. "Remember," said the team's leader, "the true treasure lies not in gold or jewels, but in the knowledge and understanding that comes from respecting the power of nature and the mysteries of the past." The newcomers nodded, and as they disappeared into the jungle, the team knew that they had fulfilled their duty, passing on the knowledge they had gained to the next generation. And as they settled down for the night, the team knew that their journey was far from over. But they also knew that they were no longer seeking treasure for themselves, but rather, seeking to share the knowledge they had gained with all those who were willing to listen. For in the end, they knew that the true treasure of the ancient ruins lay not in the gold and jewels that lay hidden within, but in the wisdom and understanding that came from respecting the power of nature and the mysteries of the past. As the team continued their journey, they encountered more groups of adventurers seeking the treasure of the ancient ruins. But instead of greed and conflict, there was now a sense of respect and understanding among all who sought the treasure. And just when they thought their journey had reached its end, they stumbled upon a new discovery, a hidden chamber within the ancient ruins that they had never seen before. As they entered the chamber, they saw that it was filled with an abundance of treasure beyond their wildest dreams. But something was different about this treasure. It glowed with an otherworldly energy, as if it was alive. Suddenly, a figure materialized before them, a being made of pure energy. "I am the guardian of the ancient ruins," said the being. "And I have been waiting for someone to uncover the true treasure within. The treasure of knowledge and understanding is but a mere fraction of what lies within this chamber." The team was awestruck, unable to comprehend the magnitude of what lay before them. "You have proven yourselves worthy," said the being, "and I am prepared to offer you the true treasure of the ancient ruins. But be warned, it comes at a great cost." The team hesitated, unsure of what to do. But they knew that they had come too far to turn back now. "We accept," said the team's leader. And with that, the being unleashed a surge of energy that engulfed the entire chamber. The team could feel their bodies being transformed, as if they were merging with the very essence of the ancient ruins themselves. And as they emerged from the chamber, they knew that they were no longer mere mortals, but beings of pure energy, guardians of the ancient ruins and the wisdom they held. The team looked at each other in wonder, knowing that their journey had truly reached its end. But little did they know, their adventure had only just begun, as they were now tasked with guarding the ancient ruins for all eternity, ensuring that the wisdom and understanding of the past would never be lost. And so, the team settled into their new role, watching over the jungle and the secrets it held, waiting for the day when the next group of adventurers would stumble upon the ancient ruins and uncover the true treasure within.